Hello, so we're back again for another replay, and today I have two replays for you in the American T92 light tank. Now I do already have a video of this tank in my channel if you wanted to check that one out, but this replay is the two games basically, one leading up and one actually free marking the tank. Two very different replays. The first replay ends, spoiler alert, is sort of big damage, and the second replay is, very big assistance damage. So yeah, two different replays, but the first replay here is on Kasserine, very big map, and yeah, I'm going to go and take the usual position I like to take at the start of the game to try and spot the cross. Now, one important thing to mention, at the point of this replay, it was taken when they had the bug in the game where you don't stay spotted for very long basically. So that is important to note because it does allow me to play this particular position very aggressively, which I will demonstrate in a minute. So you say I'm spotted here, move round, and what's, just duck behind this cover. What's that, like 2 seconds when I get behind that cover, but I'm not spotted anymore. So that's what I mean. It allows me to play this position very aggressively because when I do get spotted, it doesn't take me long to get out of the game. Now that bug's fixed; it's no longer in the game. But I just thought I'd mention because it was kind of important to note this replay, because that is in my thinking basically. Obviously, I'm not going to get as much assistance because they're not going to stay spotted for as long, but it allows me to keep, I don't have to completely retreat. I can stay here and not be too concerned when I get spotted because it's not going to take me long to get unspotted. But you say I moved in, I picked up a couple of shots. Now it's a bit of a pea shooter, this gun. It doesn't do a lot of damage in a single shot, but what does happen is quite often, because you don't really do that much damage, sometimes they don't really, you sort of shoot them, they don't react very quickly, and it allows, before you know it, you put 2 or 3 shots into them. One thing this tank does have with the gun, it's very accurate, and shooting on the move, like some of the snapshots you can pull off on the move in this tank, especially when you're sort of circling tanks, etc. It's pretty filthy at, and it is a light. It's a light tank I've actually have quite enjoyed. You'll probably see quite a few of them in the game at the moment, just because it's a tank they've recently given away. Obviously the Falcon's been in the game a while, but they're recently given away the unskinned one, so you should see a lot of them. That's why you probably come across a lot of them in the game. But you're saying not a bad start to the game. I picked up sort of just 1,000 damage, a little bit of assistance, not much. But now this is Indie Panzer's coming in for me, so I'm going to have to sort of pull back quickly. Unfortunately, I sort of clipped that wall. Not the greatest of driving, but it's worked out alright, isn't it? So I managed to get into this position. I want to take this guy out, so I'm actually just going to go into him now. I know I am aware there's a paladin there, but I just want to take this guy out as quickly as I can. And this is where I can demonstrate how good this thing is shooting on a move when you're firing the APCR rounds, because the shell velocity is so good. You're a nimble little light tank, and you're able to sort of just get around this guy. Now, one of the weaknesses, one of the things with this tank, I probably mentioned in the other video, is it was never the top speed of this tank, in my opinion. I feel like it let it down, but I'm using the ability to get you an extra 10% on your top speed, and that's made a massive difference for me, I think, on this tank. It has had a massive difference. Now, if you see there, I was engaging that paladin, I was putting out a lot of hurt into him, but then I saw the stockade, and I was thinking, I'm not going to keep circling down there, because I don't want to get clipped out by the stockade, but I decided to just go around the back of the stockade, get a few shots in. I'm pretty sure he's emptied his clip already, but we're able to shut him down there. We're able to get a few shots in, and then my friendly tank shuts him down. So yes, it's not a bad little start. We're on just shy of 3,000 damage, so even if I die now, it's still going to be a pretty decent result, but I want to try and make the most of it, don't I? So I'm coming in here, just going to try and shut down this T29. He gets shut down by our friendly LTTB. Now, as you see, we're just circling this tank in just snapshot in a move, it's pretty filthy when you're firing APCR rounds. But yeah, so it's been pretty decent so far. We spotted the piggy, spotted the fun police. We want to take him out of the game more than anything, but our friendly tank takes him out for us. Missus are moving up, see this in panzer at the back. I'm going to try and get up to this ridge to the left to see if I can get any shots into him basically. We full snap one on the move. Just show my point that it is pretty dirty at firing on the move. Especially with all these sort of accuracy perks you get on the crew. That was a pretty poor shot. I should have aimed a bit lower and gone for the track. But I wasn't really going to pen at that angle. But unfortunately, you notice now, we've only got 3 of the standard rounds left. And that's probably going to, that's where I'm going to really regret some of these shots which I end up taking, because I really could have done, spoiler alert, I'm going to need that extra ammo, and I think I'm going to regret taking some of these rush shots basically, because now I'm on the heat rounds and they don't have the same sort of shell velocity, so you can't really snap shots as well when you're circling tanks. You can, it still works, but obviously you need to adjust for the shell velocity difference, and I think I wasted a few shots because I didn't adjust, and I regret that really. Like these shots I'm taking now, I mean, it was at the stage though, I kind of felt like at one point it looked like we had this game in the bag, and then all of a sudden it's changed and it's swung the other way now. So I want to try and take out a few of these one-shot tanks. I'm going to try and help out our friendly there, but he gets shut down, and I realise I'm suiciding when they keep moving over there. I get a couple shots into the Type 59, sorry, and look, the battle's it's swung the other way now, and this light tank's coming in. I want to shut him down. I want to get this light tank out of the game. But I'm running out of ammo. I'm quickly running out of ammo, and this is the thing. Unfortunately, there was nothing wrong with the way I aimed that shot, because of the prime heat shells, they got absorbed into his track, and I didn't do damage. And that's a shame. Like that snapshot, that was silly. That I was never going to hit these snapshots again. I should have aimed at. There's so much scenery in the way, but these heat shells aren't going to hit. So I've wasted like 3 or 4 bullets rounds there, and it turns out I needed them. I'm now in a 1 versus 3 situation. I want to take out this light tank, and again I should have aimed that better, and now I've only got 4 rounds left and there's 2 tanks left. So at this point I'm thinking I'm probably not going to be able to win this game, just because I physically do not have enough rounds left. So I've got 5 rounds left. It's not going to be enough. The only thing I can think of is if I try and take out one of the tanks with my 5 rounds, then I can potentially win the game. Just take it to a 1v1 at the end and see what team's done the most damage, because I'm not going to be able to kill both tanks. But either way, I still had a good game at this moment. I've got 5,000 damage in a tier 8 light tank, especially a tank which doesn't have the big alpha. Is quite a nice game, so I'm not that worried, but I've got 5 shots left. I want to see if I can maybe get 1 tank out, and then we can take it to the chance at the end to see what happens. But what I've done now, Catherine's a big map, so I didn't want to just sit in that location. I wanted to move and take the advantages of having a light tank basically, and try and create some distance so they don't know exactly where I am. I didn't want to stay where I was last alone location, because I'm in a 2 versus 1 situation now, so I want to try and take my advantage. Now I'll spot this Type 59, try and go for a shot there. Unlucky maybe not to pen, but I probably shouldn't have took that shot, especially when I know I don't have any rounds left, but then again, I could have penned it, so it's not the end of the world. But I'm just trying to, I don't feel like I'm going to win this game, and when I'm playing it at the moment, I don't feel like I'm going to win. I just think I want to get as much out as I can. Now again, I snapshotted that shot. I shouldn't have done, but you can see I might be able to take out this dragon. I was hoping to get 1 more shot in, but I'm not going to be able to get that shot in there. So I'll try and move up. I'll try and bait that little dragon shell. Let's see if I've got 1 more in. I'll take him out. I've got no more rounds left, so I wouldn't be able to do any more than that anyway. But you know, probably got the most out of it as we could at the end. We still took another tank down with us, and we got that little bit more damage. But yeah, that's it for that replay. So it was a loss, but it's one of them decent losses. I got 5 kills, 5,258 damage, 48 pens, 458 assistance, high caliber. So it was a loss, but it didn't feel too much like a loss. I was quite happy with that loss, if you like. But yeah, that's it for this replay, and I will see you in a bit for the final replay of the video. Hello, so we're back again for the final video of the replay, and this time we're actually bottom tier on Mali, and we're reasonably close actually to a free mark. I think I only needed like 0.5% to free market at this stage, but yeah, like I say, the last video it was all about sort of the damage. You know, got just over 5k raw damage in the tier 8 light tank, which doesn't have very big alpha damage. So it was quite a nice game in that sort of respect. Where this game, it's a different story. It's more about this how much assistance we get. So sort of a different you know, sort of way you can play with the light tank. Now it's worth mentioning again, this replay was when we had the bug, so things like say spotted very long, so it works in my favour a little bit here, but then it works against me also a bit later, so you know it sort of swings and roundabouts. But yeah, it's just worth mentioning. As I say, that's not in the game anymore, so we don't have to worry about that now, but you know it does affect this replay. So we move to this sort of position. There's no fun police in this one, which is, yeah, to be honest, it's not a massive problem when you're playing against fun police when you're in the light tank. Sometimes it's quite nice to, you know you're going to get assistance, but you know it means we don't have to worry about getting sort of shot by the artillery anyway when we're here. But it is bottom tier. There's a lot of tanks with some nasty high alpha guns in the game, so we do have to be a little bit careful. But as you see there, we got spotted, drove around for a couple of seconds unspotted, and already we picked up a nice little, you know, good start of the game. 1300 assistance at the start, so quite a nice little game, especially when you're going for those 3 marks. When you pick up those little bit of assistance early on, it just relieves pressure a little bit. But it doesn't seem like, it seems like this is a location I need to stay at the moment. I'm spotting stuff, getting assistance, so I don't really see any issue to move. I am sort of looking at the mini map, and I can see that we've taken this side of the map, and we don't have much presence on the other side, so that's fine. It's just something I need to bear in mind, because I sort of need to time it. Because quite often it takes them, when the enemy pushes that way, it takes them a long time to push the other way, and you'll see that if you just catch them out when they cross, you can just farm assistance from them on the cross, and you know you catch them in an open field crossing, and it's a nightmare for them. That's why it's always a problem when you do push that way. Now, as you see, this light tank, another T92, I can see in our cap circle. Now, I would like him to die, because once he's dead, it's going to make my game a lot easier. We're not having the sort of light tank to worry about. Which I've got spotted here, but I'm just going to try and move a bit erratically, get over to these bushes, because as I say, I'm not going to stay lit for that long, because of that bug involved in this game. I sort of darted over to that bush to see if I was going to catch anything out crossing, but it doesn't look like they crossed quite yet. So I'm going to see if I can. You know, just trying to work out if I can get any shots at them. At this stage, I couldn't quite work out whether it was going to win or lose heals, so I was just trying to get damage in where I can. I've got the heat shots loaded for this VK, because you know I'm going to struggle depending on the APCR from this distance with the penetration drop off. But it does look like, you know, I don't really need the heat for this T92, but I probably just forgot to swap shells. But yeah, I'm just going to try and see if I can get some more damage if I can. I'm staying this side of the map in the hope that I catch them crossing towards our base, because I know there is going to be some tanks that way. Like I say, we just spotted 2 up there in the distance we can see in the mini map. So yeah, I need to. They don't say lit very long. You see there, he was lit. Now normally he probably would have been dead then, but because of you know that sort of bug at the moment, he doesn't stay lit that long. But you know, it's worked in my advantage as well. So it's sort of a, you know, it's just one of those things really. But yeah, it's in the balance a little bit at the moment. But you know, I have sort of hooked up 3,500 assistance, and I've got almost 1,000 damage. So I'm very close to free marking this. It wasn't that high free mark at the top when I was marking it. I think because they're giving away a tank, that you get quite a lot of new people play a tank that gives away, and when that happens, the free marks requirements do drop a lot of the time to begin with. So yeah, so I'm at that sort of stage of the game where I don't need a lot more, and I probably free marked it. So obviously I've got that in the back of my mind. I'm just thinking, I just need to play a little bit careful, but I just try and pick up the assistance. I just need to spot them here because I have the support behind me now that I know if I spot them, there wasn't much else for our team to shoot at. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get some assistance. Now I saw that TVP. He's in the location where he needs to die because he's going to keep me lit. I get very lucky and I snapshot him and set him on fire. Hopefully he's going to get shut by my team, which he does. Get shut down by my Skoda. And now these are my spots, and I just need to keep these lit now. Because if they're in a position where they're in sort of the open ground, they're going to get shot by a team, and I can pick up a lot of assistance very quickly. So that's all what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to keep these guys lit for as long as I can, and I hope that my team puts some shots in for me. So I'm already up to like 6k assistance. I've definitely free marked a tank this game now, but it's just, you get to that sort of 6k assistance thing, and you're thinking, oh, you know, I've got to keep pushing that assistance now because you never know what you're going to get. You want to make the most out of it, don't you? And this type 5 heavy crossing here is the dream. He's not making it across. There's no way I'm going to let him make it across. So I'm just going to keep him lit. So my team shut him down because I'm going to struggle defending with the APCR rounds on this tank. But I'm just hoping if I keep him lit, I'll get shut down by my team. This is exactly what happened. Now that's put me up to 7.5k assistance. So I'm thinking, oh, it's possible. You know, the 10k mark assistance is possible right now. So I really want to try and spot these up, and I do get the spots on these guys. I'm just hoping my team is going to shut him down, but it doesn't seem to be happening. I've got to get in a few shots. I'm just hoping he's going to get taken out by a team. It's not really happening. I guess their shots are slim because he doesn't stay lit for that long. It doesn't allow him a lot of time to aim in on them. But yeah, he does get slapped there, and that's put me up to 8.5k assistance. Now at this point, I kind of wish, like looking back, I sort of hovering around here because again, I don't want to get hit by an E4 and just die right now. So I do have to be a little bit carefully, especially if he's shooting HE at me. You know, but I do wish maybe if I just darted across this field very aggressively right now, I would have got a bit more assistance. I didn't spot this waffle, and I think if I just pushed really aggressively, I would have got the spot on him, and then that might have all been my assistance, which would have took me above the 10k. But you know, at the same time, I didn't want to get shut. I assumed the E4 was still there, and if I'd have got hit by him, I didn't want to get double tapped by him in the Type 34 and then ruin a good game. So it was just one of those really. It's easy to say in hindsight what to do, but that's not happened at the time. Had I known this E4 was just going to try and climb this hill, I would have just pushed, but I didn't know that. But you know, not too bad. Managed to get 2k assistance. See if I can get any more out of this game. Hopefully I can try and get this kill, which I do. And that's it for this replay. So yeah, all that's left is just to see the result board and see how we got on. As you can see, so I was bottomed here, picked up 2 kills, 2,223 damage, 23 direct hits, and then a whopping 8,620 assistance. So yeah, quite a nice little game there to end my free mark on. 10k combined, you know, 8k assistance. There's nothing to complain about. So that I'm very happy with that result. And as you see, it was, you know, more than enough to free mark the tank. So yeah, that's it guys. That's it for this replay anyway. Obviously more replays to come. Another one coming out on Friday. As always, you know, I generally do really appreciate all the support. I'm getting so much support on this channel, more than I thought I would ever get. And it's so nice to sort of see those comments and you guys interacting with the videos. So thank you very much for that. I hope you enjoyed it, and happy tanking.